this way. All man vex. But the kind way how man then they feel man them know they gladdy. All man vex. But the kind way how man then they think man them know they feel well. All man vex.
Guys, this is what I'm going to talk about. These 100 schools. I know you guys have seen it on social media over the past few days. 100 schools. This is beautiful. You know, these are the fundamental questions I have because we're excited to see developments, you know, like these, saying they're building schools and stuff, right? But let me share this with you guys because I want you guys to see this. This is President Bio's, you know, Twitter page. Let me share that with you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But, you know, it's very important that we come out here and talk about this. Like I said, you know, Cashbox is going to join me. But this is the president's Twitter page. I'm going to give you guys some comparison with the level of propaganda and campaign that these guys are bent on. This government is a social media government. This government does not really care about the needs of the people. This government does not care if the people die of hunger and starvation. This government is for social media. These guys are social media bent. That propaganda that they played until they come to power, it is the same thing that they're doing today. And that is why we have to pay attention to these things. Because we cannot let ourselves be fooled anymore. Be taken for a ride like we are idiots. You know what bothers me with the SLPP? Folks, I know why I do what I do. It is because these guys think a lot of us are just idiots. We are buffoons and we can sit by and allow these guys, a bunch of, you know, idiots to just think they can say whatever they want to say to us and we'll take it as the gospel truth. And that is a sacrosanct fact. So I'm going to pose fundamental questions to you guys. And I hope you guys have shared this live. It is beautiful to see these photos. It is beautiful to see these tweets. It is beautiful to see the EU representative in Sierra Leone saying that the government has built 100 schools. We have a question. The people of Sierra Leone are asking these fundamental questions. What is the budget for each of these schools? And what is the total budget of this whole project? What is the budget for these schools? And what is the total budget of all of these 100 schools? We want to see it because the reason being, when the investigation starts after 2023, when these guys leave office, we want to be able to have a clear understanding of where we're going to start with these investigations. Welcome, Cashbox. We're going to be very, very clear. You know, we want to understand exactly where are we going to start our investigations because, you know, Cashbox, you join me where I'm talking about these schools, these 100 schools, because I'm going to share the Twitter pages of these guys. Because, again, these guys are good with propaganda. This government is a social media government. Everything they do. And that is why when Bill Gates was out there, right, tweeting on Facebook, talking about, you know, David Shenger's page, about what David Shenger is doing about prosthetic legs, one prosthetic leg at a time. We have to see these evidences. It's not just about talk, right? And this is why I'm showing you, this is the Twitter page of the president. President Bio. I want to show our folks. Let us see this. Let me play this real quick. Because so you guys can see what I'm saying. Let me play this video real quick.
Today they are very symbolic. For the very first time in history, for make at one point in time, any president of this republic for making commission 100 junior secondary schools then. Bo, Kenema, Putloke, and Bombali.
Everybody glady and very important to the Peking then because they don't get all facilities where they for use for land more. They don't got all facilities where for introduce them to digital knowledge.
Your Excellency, we are going.
Guys, I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to where these computers, you know, are put right here. Yeah. I want you to see these computers. I want you to see how these guys stage these computers. I want us to pay attention. This is all the propaganda. All of these 100 schools, do all of these kids have computer labs? Then get everything that we are seeing on these. This is how this government, this is all propaganda. I'm going to come to the teachers not getting paid, right? I'm going to show you guys the schools that actually need to be renovated, that are not being renovated. And I'm going to show you guys, you know, the Lincoln Queen University again. That these guys, they came to power. Over 1,000 kids are dropouts today because these guys said they would not pay for their education. I'm going to show you all of that. But I want you to see how they are stage managing this whole thing. I want you guys to see the level of propaganda.
Wait for introduce them to digital knowledge.
Your Excellency, we are going to your office. You say, Minister, we don't do the free parts. Now we get 2.6 million people who they go to school. and I pay for most of them beginning day. Now, what I'm going to do now, the quality part I'm going to focus on. And this school year in particular, now perhaps one of the best examples of the progress and quality, and I will tell you what I understand.
Our support aims to improve equitable access to primary and secondary education. We have supported the rehabilitation and construction of 100 schools in target districts that you, Your Excellency, will open at this ceremony today.
Guys, I want you guys to listen to that. When education outcomes then will begin better, salon better. But Cash Box, like I was saying earlier, I have fundamental questions. Now, let me show you guys this, what we're doing. Let me show you guys another thing now. When I left I'll read now the tweets them. I'll read the tweets themselves, right? When I'll read the tweets them now. It's very important. I'll compare notes. The president said, yesterday in Guéréon, I commissioned 100 schools built in 4 districts. Investment in education will guarantee sustainable and inclusive development. These investments are not about scoring political points. Thank God he put her inside. He said it was score political points. This is about national agenda, right? But about ensuring that every child reaches his or her full potential. Every child. Oh, well, the education, I think, is just about the primary. Does Lincoln Queen matter, Cashbox? Is that part of the educational system that we're fighting for? That you would come to power and say, no, these Pekin and I no matter. Lincoln Queen no matter. Is that what it is? But Cashbox, before I jump, let me read the next tweet. I want you guys to pay attention to this line now. This is the president tweeting, right? Yesterday in Guéréon, I commissioned 100 schools built in 4 districts. Now, watch this guy. There is this particular guy, Ambrose James. And the reason why I'm showing you guys this guy is the husband of this lady in 98.1. Asma James. Thank you. This is Nayon's bandits, 9 tweets now. And this is where the propaganda comes to life, right? This is what I want to show you guys. I want you guys to see how these guys are bent on propaganda. But like I said, we have questions. We want to see each of these 100 schools, the one that went and build from the scratch, the one that went and patch and repair. We want to know the budget and everything. Because, guys, these guys cannot just throw numbers at us. And all of a sudden, we all accept, say, it is the sacrosanct fact. We have to get down to the bottom of this. Because this is serious business. Now, when I listen to this guy, Ambrose James, in tweet. He said, yesterday in Guéréon, I want you guys to see this. Bo District, His Excellency President Julius Marabio commissioned 100 junior secondary schools constructed, upgraded and rehabilitated as part of the EU support to the education sector in Sierra Leone. These guys are on a campaign. These guys are on a campaign. They're not playing. And this is what I want you guys to understand. This is how they... Let us go now to David Shenge's own page. Let's see in Twitter page. This is David Shenge's Twitter page. I want you guys to see this. These guys are not playing. But what we are saying is, we want to see these schools. We want a website. Where can we go to find this information? School for school, village for village, town for town. Every one of these 100 schools that we built. We want to see them. We have to see them.
Yes, that is true. That is
because
true.
Exactly, people's power.
That is true.
Because those days are over. When we can just sit back and accept, say, people are just going to throw these numbers at us. And we for accept and say it's a sacrosanct fact. Then picking a day, Lincoln Queen. Then Lincoln Queen picking a day. Where are they? We see, we do say, Marabio, these guys don't really care. These guys are all they're doing. The actual issues, they're not even talking about the teachers that they protest. No, they will not talk about the teachers that are protesting. Cashbox, talk to me.
Thank you, Ibrahim. You know, good evening out there. You know, as we can always say, these Then people here, they actually kind of like they take the Sierra Leoneans them for granted, and they just think it is a joke what they're doing. You know, Ibrahim, like, and I make like these days I call the man, you know, I kind of like do a reflection of all the book about the you know the animal farm. I just decide for call the man Mr. Jones, because you see this is exactly waiting the corner we country is exactly it actually the mirror waiting the right now the animal farm about politicians them. You know, Ibrahim, when you talk about like the Lincoln Queen picking them, you're talking about saying, oh, education and all that in the day. But you see, like you left picking them, you know, hanging. And I listened to an interview, you know, the one you called me about, when you see if it was a new one. I suspect it's a new one because I've never had it like around anyway. And this guy was talking about, oh, 1 million and stuff like that. I've got, I mean, 10 billion people think it's a massive money. Basically, that's what he was trying to say. But the danger here is the fact that, you know, they're young adults trying to achieve something. You just left them out there. You don't care how they get for survive, but yet still you they try for tell we say, oh, you go commission like 100 schools. As you rightly say, where are these schools? Where are they? We need to see evidences of these schools. And you know, Ibrahim, like listening to this David Shenge, you know, these guys, you know, honestly, it's unfortunate that we can't ask for source information then. And unfortunately, we get like a parliament that is non-functioning. You know, in commentation we make, it say the president tell and say, oh, Mr. Minister, we get about 2.6 million picking now where they go school. So now we need to concentrate on the quality. Okay, so all along we on the try for tell we but like 3.5 years ago on the tell we say it is free and quality. Is it only now that the quality is going to start? I mean, we do not understand. Is it just now that the quality is going to start? And secondly, Ibrahim.
And by the way, it wasn't free. The education not free. Now we ask parents them right now. I get your point, Cashbox.
Absolutely.
You know how much people pay for the picnic for go school?
Yeah. People were telling me about. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Somebody did tell me about say in Peking going to FSSG. I think he had to pay like 300 and something thousand.
Oh, that is a small one.
Exactly. You know, all these things, Ibrahim. I mean, you see, these guys, we have to use their words, because sometimes when you do not use their words to kind of like expose them, people think you're just kind of like making up things. But you see, now you don't tell, we say, oh, the president tell you, say, oh, well, Mr. Minister, we've been given free. But una always be the propagate it is a free and quality education. So is it only now that the quality is going to kick in? No, sir, we don't have time for una stupid propaganda again. Secondly, Ibrahim, this guy told me, say, oh, it's 2.6 million picking in now. He say don't get in a school. If you remember, everywhere they go, then they tell people and say they don't bring 2 million picking them in a school. So are they trying to tell us that prior to that time, it was only 600,000 picking them where they go school in a salon?
That's the data we need to find, right?
You see, I strong, you know, when we say this, they sound a bit subjective. People do not get what we're trying to say.
Right.
It's clearly it is not possible that it was only 600,000 picking them in the go school. Clearly, however, as you say, it is the data we have to find. Where are we going to find it? The parliamentarians cannot go source this information, and these people have access. They can knock at any door, and then that door must be open to them, but they're not going to do that. But like the analysis now, let me just use the common sense approach. If these people are always the propagate say they don't bring 2 million picking them come na school. What's in a salon population? 7 million people. Waiting at the Pekin population. Are you trying to tell us like the Pekin population is about? I do not get it. And then now you tell me say 2.6 million people. You know, these are all some of the information we need to get. Say almost Pekin realistically we get now with country. Let me understand. Waiting at the adult population, waiting at like the youth population. Because when we get these facts, surely these people will be exposed. Now you tell we say I don't get so like 2 million. You will be tell we say 2 million picking since una bring the free and quality education. Now you don't come by school business. So are you trying to say it was only 600,000 picking them they go school na salon? Ibrahim, come on, these guys, you know, from one lie to the other. You know, I listen to the president in the try for tell we say in the try for defend a woman, Mrs. Jones. They tell we say how they tell like you know the arrogant way first way talk to the lady that Mabel Cabal. So they tell her say, oh, I do not want to be interrupted way at the talk. You went in the interview now. You did tell the interviewer say no, don't interrupt me.
Because it got it for go blow mind.
Absolutely.
It's been sitting by. Yes, to fool, you know, it's been sitting by, not communicating with the people. So the one opportunity that he had, you don't even get the gumption in the other. There's no decency. There's no public relations skills. This is a man that has never worked. You know, worked for 22 years of your life, sitting in London. Not get any courtesy, customs, and traditions for understand the respect for the human, except when you interview him. But these are all the things. But then you look at the propaganda, people's power. Tell me about some instances of parents that will go pay. When you know of people that will go pay how much money they pay for them picking them for go school. When they got a claim for saying a free quality education. Then the like we say in the build schools, then people say, where the schools there? Yeah, 100 schools in 4 districts. Where are the schools? We want the data.